Little girl asked Biker, "Are you my real dad?" His answer left everyone in tears. It was a cloudy afternoon in a quiet town tucked off Route 8, the kind of place time seemed to forget. The only sounds were the whisper of wind through the pines, the chirp of sparrows, and the distant rumble of an approaching motorcycle gang. Then came the roar, deep, rhythmic, like thunder rolling across the hills. A formation of bikes pulled into Dottie's Diner, a weathered but warm little spot where locals sipped coffee and truckers swapped stories. Among them was a man named Jake. Jake stood tall, his frame wrapped in leather and faded denim. His beard was dark, his eyes guarded, but behind the toughness was a quiet sadness, worn like a second skin. He was a member of the Road Shepherds, a brotherhood known not for rebellion, but for charity rides, veteran support, and quiet acts of kindness. Yet today, Jake wasn't his usual self. He hadn't smiled all morning. His mind was miles away, in a past he couldn't outrun. As the bikers filled the booths, a small figure appeared near the door. Barely 5 years old, with wide brown eyes and a pink backpack twice her size, stood a little girl named Lily. She'd been watching the bikes from the window of the diner with her mom. When she saw Jake, his Harley, his boots, the way he held himself, something inside her stirred. She walked up to him, heart pounding in her tiny chest. The entire diner fell silent. "Mister?" she whispered, voice trembling. Are you my real dad?" Jake froze. The clink of silverware stopped. Even the jukebox seemed to hold its breath. Lily's eyes filled with tears. "My daddy rode a bike just like yours. He was a soldier. He never came home." 3 years had passed since her father died overseas. 3 years of bedtime stories that ended with "he's watching over us" and drawings of a man on a motorcycle with angel wings. Jake knelt down, his rough hands surprisingly gentle. His voice cracked as he spoke. "No, sweetheart, I'm not your real dad, but your daddy, he's right here." He placed a hand over her heart. "He never left, and if you want, I'll give him a hug for you." Lily didn't hesitate. She wrapped her arms around Jake's neck and held on like she'd known him forever. The diner erupted in quiet sniffles. A waitress wiped her eyes. Even the toughest biker dabbed his cheek with the back of his glove. What no one knew, not yet, was that Jake carried his own grief. 5 years ago, he'd lost his only daughter in a car accident. A rainy night, a phone call that shattered his world. Since then, he rode to feel something, anything, but mostly to outrun the silence of an empty house. After the hug, Sarah approached with tears in her eyes. "She hasn't smiled like that in years," she said softly. "Thank you." Jake nodded, but something shifted inside him. He asked if he could sit with them. Over milkshakes and cheese fries, Lily showed him her coloring book, every page filled with bikes, soldiers, and stick-figure families. Jake drew with her, sketching a bike with 2 seats, one for her, one for him. Before the road shepherds left, Lily tugged his sleeve. "Can I call you Daddy Jake?" The name landed like grace. Jake swallowed hard, then smiled, the first real smile in years. "You can call me anything you want, Lilybug." Weeks later, a letter arrived at the Road Shepherds clubhouse. It was from Sarah. "Dear Jake, you walked into that diner a stranger and left as the light Lily needed. Since that day, she laughs again. She draws pictures of Daddy Jake riding with her on the back of a golden bike. She sleeps with your old bandana under her pillow. You gave her hope. You gave me peace. Thank you for being the kind of man the world needs more of." Jake read the letter 3 times. Then he pinned it beside a photo of his own daughter on his bedroom wall. He never replaced her. But maybe love doesn't vanish. Maybe it just finds new hands to hold. Now, every few weeks, you'll find Jake at Dottie's Diner, sitting in the same booth, sipping black coffee and waiting for the sound of tiny footsteps. On the wall behind him hangs a framed photo, Lily grinning on his bike, arms wrapped around his waist like she's never letting go. And if you ever pass through that little town off Route 8, you might hear Jake say what he now tells every child who asks about loss. Love never leaves. It just rides beside us, in different helmets, different hearts, but always close enough to hold. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more stories of hope, healing, and second chances to millions around the world. Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? And if you believe that kindness can heal even the deepest wounds, let the world know. Because sometimes, a single moment of courage is all it takes to reignite a broken heart. Thanks for watching.